and girls, babies in your diapers. Welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius. Today we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a very cool video to talk about, a book about nerds, my bonus score report, and we got a totally awesome guest. The one, the only, the amazing Rich Fontaine.
Hey.
Rich is an author, and he's going to be releasing a new book soon.
Yes, I'm releasing a book that I'm very excited about and very excited to be here on the show with you, Tiberius, to talk about it.
Today we're going to start off with the video game of the week, and this is going to be out of this world.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Spaceship Simulator. So this is a game on the Roblox platform. It was made by Planet Productions. Because it is on Roblox, you are able to play it on PC, Mac, Xbox, and even your cell phone. And it is free. So this is another simulator-style game, but with some interesting twists. So you start off in a room with a door at the end which says hangar. When you enter the hangar, you are offered a small spaceship. You enter the ship and start to fly around. The controls are easy but slow. You fly near an asteroid and your ship will automatically collect ore. You can sell that ore for money to use for upgrades and repairs.
Very cool.
So after you sell some ore, you can use that money to upgrade your ship or buy pets. I played with my dad for a bit and went to bed. The next day I got back into the game, and well, my dad found a trick to get lots of money. In addition to floating asteroids, there are also some aliens. When you shoot them, they split open and make two more. If you get near them, you would start to collect the ore aliens. So if you want to be smart, back up your shit and shoot this alien thousands of times. Then fly near the doubles and enjoy hundreds and thousands of credits.
Awesome.
I give Spaceship Simulator 9 out of 10 stars because it's a lot of fun to play with your friends. The fact that my dad found a way to cheat the money makes it not that much fun to play. But if you take the game at face value, I enjoyed playing with my friends. See David Smith Law.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
The website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties. Contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org. Now it's time for the book of the week! The Nerd Who Saved the Universe. This book's written by Rich Fontaine. Let me read the back of the book. Wait. Did I say Rich Fontaine? That is you.
That's
Do you
me.
want to do the honors?
Yes, I would love to do the honors. Oh, wow, you have a copy of the book right here. Awesome. Perfect. I would love to read the premise of the book. This book is about gaining self-esteem in oneself to face any problems life has to throw at us, to follow the 3 rules of greatness that will lead us out of our heads and onto the field, not to be afraid of the opposition, but embrace the challenge to become our own heroes.
So, first off, this is not an AR book. This book is so new that it has not been released yet, and therefore it is not listed on the AR system. This is okay, but it's still a good book. Next, this is a large book. A lot larger than I normally read. I had to switch from 20 minutes a day to 30, just to make sure I finished it in time. The book was so good, I even read past my 30 minutes and finished the book in 4 days.
Wow, that's incredible.
So the story is about this kid named Ernest, and well, he's kind of a nerd.
Yep.
Now, some think that is bad, but I love computers and math, and I think being a nerd is cool.
Being a nerd is really cool. I think so too.
But the football team did not. They picked on him for being small and a nerd. They would lock him up in a closet and pick on him all the time. But Ernest was special. He had a cool weapon. He had an imagination. So instead of being football players, they were savages.
Yes, they were. They were Neanderthals.
Ooh.
Big grunting bullies.
Ernest was able to get out of his issues with the help of his friends. He wielded his greatest weapon, and come on, you know I'm gonna make you read what happens in the book, but I can tell you it's really good. So Rich, when are you going to release the book so that everyone else can read it?
Well, that's a great question, Tiberius. We actually have pre-orders out already that you can get on Amazon and Audible, but the full release is going to be October 6th, where it's going to be available for everyone to purchase and enjoy.
Okay. So I'm going to go on Amazon or Audible right now after the show.
Yes.
And I'm going to get your book.
My book?
Your book.
All right.
Well, I already have a copy of it, so I don't know.
Well,
I might get more copies from my friends.
there you go. One for Dad, too.
Well, I give the nerd who saved the universe 10 out of 10 stars
Woohoo!
because I really enjoyed that Ernest had an awesome imagination and that the book would switch between real life and imaginary life back and forth. I enjoyed the pictures that would show the same images, but one would be in real life and the other would be an imaginary life. I also really like it how it ended.
Ooh, shh! Don't give the ending away.
Don't get the ending away.
No. But everyone will enjoy it, and I think they'll be even surprised how it ends.
Wow. Okay. The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our awesome sponsors, SlutChannelUS.com. These guys are very, very cool. They bring 21st century surface drainage solutions to reality. They can do corporate and government work. These are the guys that make roads and bridges safe in the rain. You can see all about them at SlutChannelUS.com. That website again is SlutChannelUS.com. The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373. And now it's time for the interview by an interesting person. Today's guys is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Rich Fontaine!
Woohoo!
Rich is an author and of the children's book, The Nerd Who Saved the Universe.
Again, I'm excited to be here with you, Tiberius, and I appreciate you giving me the 10 out of 10, even though because I'm standing right next to you, I will take it, and I will appreciate it.
Well, not standing, sitting.
Sitting,
Right
there you
next
go.
to
Yeah, sitting right next to you. There you go.
So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
Oh, I'm having so much fun. You guys are great. You have great energy, and you're fun to be around. So I'm enjoying myself, and I like your bow tie.
Thanks. So is Rich your real first name or like a stage name?
Rich is my stage name. My real name is Richard, so it's Rich for short. And I have a joke. I say that my parents grew up poor, so they named me Rich. So that's kind of how that stuck with being my stage name.
Wow. So when you were a kid, did everyone think you were rich because of your name?
Well, just to answer the question before, no. My parents grew up from the small island of Haiti, and they moved here from that small island, and they raised me in New York and Connecticut. And yeah, we had very low means. My mother didn't really speak the language, so she actually was going to school after I was born to get a degree and become a professional, while my father was a substitute teacher. So we grew up with very minimal means, me and my sister. So Rich was kind of the opposite of how we grew up, but I always called myself Rich because I felt like there's always power in calling yourself what you really want to be versus who you are at that time.
So it's Richard Fontaine?
My real name is Richard Fontaine, yes,
Okay.
but Rich for short.
So did you write in? Why did you decide to write this book?
It's a funny question that you asked that. I actually wrote a book called Destiny on Purpose, How to Get What You Truly Want Out of Life, a year ago. But it was more for adults and it was for that genre and generation. And I wanted something for kids. And I was talking to my wife. I said, hey, I should make a book like this for kids. She said, it's a good book, but kids, have low attention spans and they want to be entertained. They like stories. So why don't you turn that book for adults into a kid's book? And an idea sparked in me that says, hey, I'm going to write a book for kids. And then the idea of the nerd came about, and switching from reality to fantasy, I thought was such a cool idea. And it just really hit me one day, and then I started writing and couldn't stop writing it. And before I knew it, it was done. So
how did you get the ideas about what you wanted to write about?
Well, it's funny that you asked that. There's a movie they made called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and he's an adult, kind of nerdy, low enthusiastic person that kept switching into his fantasy world. But I wanted to take it even deeper, since kids have even a larger fantasy. I thought of that same idea for kids, but even in a more epic way. A good method for kids to build up self-esteem, because when I was growing up, self-esteem was one of my issues that I wanted to face, and I figured out how to do it, and I want to share it.
So what is the best part about being an author?
The best part about being an author is being creative. Nobody could dictate what comes out of your mind and onto the paper. You kind of choose, and you have full power to be as creative as you want to, and you color outside the lines, in a sense, with being an author. So that's what I love about it, that there's no limitations. I could do whatever I want.
So what was the coolest thing you got to do when working as an author?
The coolest thing I get to do is go to radio shows and get hosted by kids like you, which is pretty fun. I was at a radio station with a bunch of kids, with Mimi, who was on your show.
You knew him a lot?
Yeah, she's awesome, and dealing with the kids was really cool. Her son actually started reading it right there in the studio, and finished the first chapter right there while still being interviewed. So it's really cool to see how much the kids are embracing the book. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's cool.
Very cool. So that's probably the best part of being an author, is have people read your work and enjoy it.
When you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always never going to be an author?
Actually, yes. The funny story, I actually went to school to be a civil engineer, and I worked in engineering for quite some time. But I wrote my very first book when I was 8 years old, and my teacher actually read it out loud for class. And I'll never forget that moment, because after you finished reading the book, all the kids stood up and clapped for me. And from that time on, I knew I wanted to be an author. And I've been kind of writing some short stories ever since then.
Short stories? I see. Well, you do write some short chapters.
Short chapters, maybe not short books, but short chapters.
So what is the hardest part about being an author?
The hardest part about being an author, that's a really good question, Tiberius. I would say is just keeping yourself motivated and doing writing schedules. I think with writing, you have to be consistent, and so you have to be disciplined to write at a certain day, at a certain time, for a certain amount of time. Like anything else that you want to do professionally, you just have to carve out time for yourself to do it on a consistent basis. Yeah.
So if you could ensure that one particular person read your book, who would it be?
Wow, if I could ensure one particular... Be honest with you, for this particular book, it would be the one kid that needs it. The one kid that is lacking in self-esteem, who feels a little less than popular or less worthy, like I did myself. And the younger me would probably benefit the most from this book. So that's what I'm writing it for, is the young version of myself.
Well, I needed this book, so thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. I appreciate that.
I did need this book.
And it was an awkward age from 11 to 14 was a very awkward age for me. And that was when my self-esteem was at the all-time low. So just to listen to a book with somebody that overcame their own obstacles, helps build motivation and inspires yourself. So, yeah, the younger me, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Like when I was 6, my self-esteem was low because I was shy at the age of 6.
Yes.
So my self-esteem was down.
But after reading this book, has it?
Yes, it's been going up.
All right, excellent.
Then my self-esteem came to me when I was 7, and I'm like, I need this radio show, so I cannot be shy.
Yeah.
And I need my self-esteem to get up.
Yes.
And then the self-esteem just came into me.
Nice.
That was cool. And after I read this book, more self-esteem came into me.
Awesome. And I have a theory that when you're in your purpose, when you're in your calling, when you're doing the thing that you're born to do, you'll always have energy, you'll always be outgoing, and you'll always have esteem with it.
What was the first job you ever had?
The first job I've ever had... Well, actually, you know what? The very first job I've ever had was a hostile takeover. When I was 7 years old, I met a girl that was doing a lemonade stand right up the street from me. And I used to go by, and I said, hey, how's your lemonade stand going? She said, okay. I said, did you make, some decent money? She said, it's okay, not so much. And I said, why not? It's a hot day out, summer, you should be banking. And she said, well, I don't know. I said, did you ever think of adding more variety to your store? She said, maybe, I don't know. So I said, how about this? I'll help you double your money. She said, okay. So I took the money she made so far, I went to the corner store, and I bought chips, candies, different items, and I brought it back to her stand. Then she got more cars drop by, and they started buying more things because she had more variety. So I'd buy the things at a quarter, we'll sell at 50 cents. And then a bunch of people started coming, and then I left with maybe $10 that day. But it was kind of cool because I was only 7 years old, and I thought, hey, maybe I have a great career in consulting and helping people be better themselves, which is my passion, is to take what you're doing and grow it to be the best version that you possibly can.
Uh-huh. Was there anything you learned from that job to help you be a better author?
Yeah, it helped me become a better entrepreneur, because you have to sell yourself and you have to bring value to people. So with helping that girl double up and triple her money that day, showed me how I can bring value to people. And always when I approach a book, I want to think in the book, how can this book bring value to people? Not just a book or a story just for you to read and enjoy, but actually bring something that you can take home and inspires you and become a better person yourself.
Okay. So if our listeners want to go to be an author, what advice would you give them?
For anyone that wants to be an author, what advice do I give them? Is, I was just reading a book today actually on my way here. To become good at anything, you have to do it, and you have to do it consistently. And for me, I've been writing since I was 8 years old, but I've been writing for a very long time. I even write blogs off my Instagram, on my Facebook page, and I write blogs for other people. So I'm constantly writing, and that's one advice I'll give to anyone that wants to be a career in anything you want to do it often and do it consistently. Like you're doing your radio, you do it often, you do it consistently, and the more you do it, you get better, right?
I do.
Yeah, you do.
So what was the biggest mistake you ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
The biggest mistake I've ever made. Wow, I'll be honest, especially those kids listening, I've made a lot of bad mistakes in my youth. When I was in my teens, because I lost my purpose. I knew I wanted to be a writer, but then I let society, other kids, even my parents deter me from choosing that as a career. And I started doing other things. Even though I was in school and I was getting an education, I was aimless. I didn't know who I was. And so I got myself into a lot of trouble. I've got in trouble with the law. I've got plenty of speeding tickets. And I realized as I got older, once I found who I was inside, I stopped getting into any trouble, really. I started really focusing on my purpose and helping other people. And that's helped bring more clarity and goodness into my life and positivity. So the biggest mistake is just not knowing who I was, not knowing who I wanted to be, and letting the world kind of decide who I should be versus deciding myself.
Okay. Oh, my teacher said that I would use math every day when I grew up. Do you use math as an author?
Do I do math as an author? Sure. I think, yes, my accounting. I have to do my accounting, so math works there. But I think all entrepreneurs have to know some good math, because what math does is helps you think outside the box. And I think to be creative, you have to think outside the box.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Now can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show. But that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on.
The one story I'm not supposed to tell you about. Okay. When I think about your age, I'll say maybe 9 or 10.
I'm only 8.
You're only 8? Well, you're maybe around your age, a little older. I had a friend where this is when first connected calls started, where you could be 2 people on one call, and we used to prank call stores. I would call appliance stores and ask them if their refrigerator was running. And if they said yes, I said, well, you better go up and catch it. So that was kind of our little running joke. We would always go prank call appliance stores just for fun. So don't do that, kids. But in the 90s, it was very fun.
Why did you say, well, then go catch it?
Because your refrigerator is running.
Oh,
Hey.
okay.
Exactly. It would take them a while to get the joke, too. But then they're like, oh, it's a prank call.
Prank call.
Yeah.
Is there anything you should think my listeners should know about you?
Yes, I'm on social media. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and Medium. So you can actually find me by just search Rich Fontaine, and you'll find all of my work. And if you specifically type in The Nerd Who Saved the Universe on Facebook or Instagram, you'll find my book page that gives you all the information when the books come
I'll
out.
go on Facebook right after I get home.
Awesome.
And do the Nerd Who Saved the Universe. And you.
Yes, please follow me.
Thank you, Rich, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
I would love to stick around for Math Corners.
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. The Tiberius Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
Get ready, it's time for the Bowling Score Report.
So I got to go to the start of the fall league, and it was so much fun. I got an 89, a 125, and a 140 in the final game.
Wow.
I was so happy to see that my friends Mia and MJ from Skylanes came to join me. I also played with Emma Lou and Kyle on my team. I strongly suggest anyone that wants to enjoy the game of bowling to come and join us. And you get to see me live and in person. So, if you want to go bowling with me, be sure to jump in the new fall league at Boardwalk Bowling Saturdays at 10 a.m. in the morning, bro.
Nice. Am I invited?
Yeah.
All right.
Remember, it's Boardwalk Bowling.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
Now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you so much, Rich, for helping me with Math Corners. Today, I'm going to talk about adding decimal numbers.
Cool.
So even though that I'm back in school, I'm doing my identical math questions at home. And well, I get to a section called adding decimal numbers. This looks like a normal addition, but there are a few tricks to make it easy. First off, you write your two numbers down on the paper. But what you do different is instead of lining up the last digit of the number, you line up the decimal point. See, the decimal point will ensure each place value is in the correct place. Now you have to do something called padding. You pad or add zeros to the end of numbers to ensure that they have the same length. So if you're adding 3.21 and 4.5, you would add a 0 to the end to make it 4.50. You would then add the 1 and the 0 and get 1, and the 2 and the 5 and get 7, and finally get the 3 and the 4 and get 7. So you get the answer of 7.71. Don't forget to bring the decimal down and be included in the answer. So Rich, do you now know all about how to add numbers and decimals?
I do. I use a calculator now, but...
Really? That's cheating.
No, as an adult, it's called... It's not called cheating as an adult. It's called saving time.
Thank you so much, Rich, for your help with Math Corners.
Not a problem. Thank you for teaching us a little something more.
And now it's time for Heart of a Lion. We at the Tiberius Show like living with the heart of a lion. Living with the heart of a lion stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility.
This week, we're going to talk about integrity. For me, I think integrity is doing what is right even when no one else is looking. The qualities of integrity is honesty, sincerity, truthfulness, and fairness. I think that when I work on the scripts of my show, that it is important to be honest in my reporting and sincere with the subjects that I select to talk about. I also work at being fair to show all sides of whatever I'm reporting about. I think it kind of works the same for being an author. You have to double check to be fair and honest in your storytelling. Unless if it's a fiction book, but you really want the message to be sincere and good. Switch, did you see your use integrity at all this week?
Yeah, I try to live my life with integrity, to always be honest and be forthcoming with everything that I do. So even when I'm writing or I'm speaking on stage, I always tell my truths, even if it's the ugly sides of my past or things that I've not always been proud of, but I always keep it to the forefront because I want people to know who I am and not be afraid or not show the sides that are your flaws. Show everything, and that shows true integrity to me.
Of all the Heart of Lion virtues, which is your favorite?
I would probably say, that would probably be in between leadership and integrity.
Okay.
I think we need more leaders, and we need people with full integrity that are always being honest, even if it's an ugly truth. Be honest with it, because I think people respect and know that, hey, we all have flaws. We all have things that we weren't proud of, and if we could be honest about it, it just shows that we're repenting past it, and we're becoming better people.
That's great. We should always try to be line strong in everything we do. And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Rich Fontaine for being my special guest this week.
Woohoo!
It's been so much fun talking with you today, and I hope to read your next book before you release it.
Absolutely. You will get the very first copy to my next book. Actually, it's going to be coming out next year. It's actually called Write to Grow Rich, where I'll be teaching people how to write books and publish them themselves and become authors like I do.
Wow. I'm going to get that.
Yeah, you are.
And be sure to listen to us next week on the Tiberius Show. Because Tiberius Boy!
The Tiberius Show is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Executive producer Joseph Boy. Production editor Pierre Laguerre. Green Room manager Danny Boy. Broadcast associate James Smith. And your program host, Tiberius Boy. The Tiberius Show is copyright 2018.